Hi, I'm Dr. Christensen and welcome to my office. Today we're going to talk about trapped emotions and how we can release them. One of the challenges that many people have in getting well and recovering their health is the emotional component of it. Many of us that have been trained, like myself, in chiropractic, we find that we're very, very skilled and very good at the physical components, but we really don't address the mental or the emotional. One of the things that is quite common is what we would refer to as a trapped emotion. Understand that we all have experiences in life where we may not have the support or the skills or the tools to adequately deal with what's going on, and so it's our nature, almost a self-protective mechanism, to stuff these emotions down inside. There's a book that many may be familiar with, which title is "Feelings Buried Alive Never Die." And I find that that's very true, that often we will suppress or stuff down an emotion, and it will result in a physical manifestation, whether we've got tightness in the shoulders or increased irritability or back pain, or just a whole myriad of different symptoms can be a result of an emotion. And so what I have found to be effective in my practice is to assist or help people in relieving trapped emotions. There are many therapies out there that work, that are valid, and many of us who have gone to all of the seminars have kind of developed a methodology that seems to work for us, and we combine a lot of different things, and then in my case I kind of add things as I find them necessary. One of the common techniques that's been very popular is something called the emotion code, and the emotion code is a great technique to learn. However, I've personally found that there may be some limitations, and so as I go through this procedure, I will demonstrate some of the things that I'm doing that are a little different than the emotion code. And so today what I want to do is I just want to run through the treatment procedure without getting into too much detail. One of the things that I've prepared for my students and my patients is a manual that I've put together on emotions, angels, and faith to be healed. And so in this manual I outline the procedures plus a whole bunch of background information that will help you understand how you may be able to assist and help people. Often we find that the thing that is holding up the healing process for people is that emotional component. Being able to forgive, being able to let go. In Alcoholics Anonymous, they use the phrase, let go and let God. And I believe that's a very, very valid point, that we need to be able to let things go so that we can heal. And often without doing that, we're just not going to get well. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to run through the basic procedure that I do with my patients. Usually it's at the end of the treatment, and so in my case I'm clearing allergies that they may have. I'm giving them a chiropractic adjustment or a craniosacral therapy or whatever I feel is needed. I'll test them for supplements, what they may need, checking organs and glands and reflexes and all that stuff, and then finally finishing with emotions. And so let me have Sydney come up here again. And so when I'm working with someone with trapped emotions, I need to use the muscle test. And in some of the techniques that I teach, for example, the allergy elimination technique, using a muscle test is not necessary. You can just do the treatment. However, in working with a trapped emotion or trying to find a trapped emotion, it's necessary to do a muscle test. Again, a muscle test is simply a way that we can amplify our intuition or amplify what is coming to us intuitively. And so we begin with a muscle test. Hold strong, and she's strong. I test here, she's strong. I test again here, and she's weak. And so that tells me that she's testable. The first thing that I want to do when I'm seeing someone the very first time is I want to ask, number one, do you have trapped emotions? And almost always they do. But rather than just pick on one emotion and finding anger or fear or anxiety, and working with that, I want to find out initially, how many trapped emotions do you have? Do you have 10 trapped emotions? Do you have 1,000 trapped emotions? Do you have 5,000 trapped emotions? Here's how I believe it works. I believe that in our subconscious mind, there's a long hallway. And this is all metaphorically, right? There's a long hallway with doors on either side. Behind every door is a trapped emotion. My job is to open up those doors, if you will, so the spirit or the subconscious can look into that doorway and say, oh, I don't need you anymore, or, oh my goodness, I'm not ready to deal with you. Boom, close that door. And so we want to clear out all of the little nonsense stuff. Let me share a brief story. Imagine for a moment that you're 3 years old. You're trying to put your socks on all by yourself, and you can't do it. You get really, really frustrated. You throw your socks down, and then you look up, and there's your big sister, and she says to you, oh, Sydney, you're such a baby, you can't even put your socks on. And so you start to cry. You're 3 years old, right? And she says, see, you're crying, you're a baby. And so you stuff that emotion down, that fear, that humiliation, that frustration, and you stop crying. Fast forward 2 years, you're trying to ride a bike for the first time, and you're really excited. You got this new bike, and mom and dad are there, and you look over, and there's your big sister. And she's looking at you, and you're thinking, you know what, I don't want to ride my bike. I don't want to try. I'm not interested. Here we see an example of a trapped emotion that has influenced your behavior in the future. And so compound that by life's experiences, especially when we're little, to when we're grown up, and it influences our behavior. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to send a signal to the body that says, you know what, we can let go of that sock incident. We don't need to hang on to that anymore. And again, and there could be hundreds and thousands of similar or like incidences, and so we want to be able to let go. And so the first thing that I do when I'm working with someone is, rather than just start picking off one emotion at a time, because there may be thousands of them, I want to send a mass signal, if you will, that says, you know what, let's let go of as many of these things as we can. And so I simply ask the question, do you have trapped emotions? And the answer is yes. And so people ask, what's your other arm doing here? And it's just stability. It just kind of gives another connection. So trapped emotions, yes. Do you have multiple trapped emotions? And I pull on the arm again or push on the arm, and the answer is yes. And so I'll just ask, how many do we have? Do we have 10? Yeah. 20? 50? 100? 200? 400? So somewhere between 2 and 400. Now we've done some work with Sydney before, so we don't expect to be into the 1,000. So I'll say 300? Yeah. 350? No. 320? Yeah. 330? No. 325? No. So 321? No. So 320. So she's got 320 trapped emotions that we're finding. And so what we want to do is we want to send that signal to the body that says, you know what, let's let go of these. We're going to give them to God. We're going to let them go. I don't need to carry this burden myself. Again, remember in the scriptures, Christ says, give me your burdens, and I'll make your burdens light. He says specifically, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And so our goal with releasing trapped emotions is not to forgive and forget and wipe them away, but rather to forgive or let go. Letting go is another term that we use for forgiveness. To let go and remember, learn from our lessons so that we can grow and move on really to the next one. And so when I'm working with someone to release a trapped emotion, as we did here, we found, how many did we find?
320.
320 trapped emotions. What I'm going to do is, similar to the emotion code, I'm going to roll a magnet down the spine. But what I found in my practice to be even more effective is to amplify the chakra that is associated with the emotions, or just what I can call a chakral trend, if you will. Understand that there are 7 chakras in the body. They range from the crown to to the third eye, to the throat, to the heart, to the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root chakra. There's 7 chakras in the body. It's interesting to note also that there are 7 colors to the rainbow. There are also 7 notes to the musical scale, and they all correspond with each other. And so each chakra is represented by the vibration, if you will, of a color and a sound or a musical note. It's almost like there was a God that created it all, right? And so what we're going to do is I'm going to test her chakras. And I use a muscle test, and I'm simply going to touch over the various chakras. We touch the crown chakra. She's strong there. That tells me we're okay. Third eye, the throat chakra, the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is a little bit weak. I could go down, touch the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root chakra. It's not necessary to put your finger and actually touch each chakra. You can just touch over the chakra or point over the chakra. And so in her case here, I found the heart chakra. It's interesting to note with the chakras, they don't necessarily line up completely, for example, with the heart. The heart is actually more on the left-hand side. When someone is hurting and they feel an emotion that affecting the heart, the hands usually go up over the heart. Likewise, the throat chakra, the child who is watching a sad movie and they feel a lump in their throat. It's not that their esophagus got twisted. It's that throat chakra that's eliciting or amplifying the emotions that they experience. And so in her case, what we're going to use the color associated with the chakra. And so here I've got some color therapy glasses that correspond with the chakras. I find that if the person is wearing the color that is associated with the chakra, that helps us to balance it even more. If we use the tuning fork that is associated with the sound or the vibration, again, that's going to amplify it. In music, we use the term called entrainment. Entrainment is one of those things that if I, for example, on my harp, if I pluck the C note, guess what happens to all the other C's? They begin to vibrate as well. And so it is with the body. If I can vibrate things in the right frequency for the heart chakra, then her heart chakra is going to be more likely to balance much more quickly and much more effectively. Let me demonstrate something. Go ahead and put the green glasses on. And what I'd like you to do is to close your eyes for me. So close your eyes. She's nice and strong with her eyes closed. Now go ahead and open your eyes, look through the green glasses, hold the arm real strong. And she's weak. And so it tells me that her body is a little bit out of balance or out of sync with the heart chakra. What we're going to do next is we're going to use the tone of the heart chakra, which is the musical note F. They line up in the body color-wise: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, and C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And so she's going to be in charge of the music. So go ahead and hold that there. Your job is to keep that a lefty. Your job is to keep that thing ringing. Now, there's 3 senses that are going here. Visual, she's seeing through the green. Auditory, she's hearing the note. But also kinesthetically, she's feeling the vibration. So your job is to keep that thing ringing. I use this magnetic roller, and it works very well. Often people will simply use just a magnet. Either one works fine. I've got this thing, and it works real well, so that's what I'm going to do. And so what I do, as she's ringing it, is I simply roll down the spine with the magnet. The visualization in my mind, or the intention, is I'm pushing the negative emotions down and out. And I put the emotions down and out. How many times you roll? Oh, 10 or so. It's not real precise. You kind of go by feel. I roll down the spine. And then to finish, I'm going to go up the spine. And what I feel like I'm doing going up the spine is I'm bringing the positive emotions in. Anytime you release something negative, you want to replace it with something positive. And so the negative emotions can be released. We want to bring in the positive emotions. We can bring in joy and happiness and peace and security and compassion and gentleness, kindness, what we would call the virtues. And then to check, again, you remember she was weak looking through the glasses. Look through the glasses again, hold real strong. And she's nice and solid and strong. Often I'll ask, is there more that we need to do? Hold strong here. Her arm tests weak. Are we finished? She tests strong. And so that's how I go through the treatment. Very basic. Now, people will ask, well, gosh, aren't there a lot more emotions that need to be gone over? And the answer is, yeah, there probably is. But understand what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set a trend, or I'm trying to push things into motion so that the body and the mind and the soul and the spirit can understand that I'm going to let go of these things. And so it's not necessary to hash over every emotion. We certainly don't want to be talking about every emotion and going over things in great detail. Occasionally that may be necessary, but the more we rehash our emotionally traumatic experiences, the more we ingrain the pathway in the nervous system. And so what once may be a neurologic pathway can become a neurologic superhighway that is so well traveled. And so the beauty of this is she doesn't need to tell me all of her traumatic emotional history, and for me, I don't have to listen to it. And so it's really a win-win situation. And so give this a try. Again, my manual is available if you'd like to go through that. You can get the color therapy glasses online on Amazon, as well as the tuning forks online. And so look those up. If you need, I can give you a link, but you should be able to find them just by a search. And so, again, releasing trapped emotions is one key that can dramatically help people relieve themselves from some of the fears, the anxieties, the past traumas that they've experienced, and progress forward to being more healthy. And so go ahead and subscribe to the videos if you think they're interesting. We've got more coming out all the time. Again, healing at home. We want you to be able to take what you learn here, heal your friends, heal your families. Again, we're not asking you to do surgery or anything crazy or major, but as we take care of problems while they're small, before they get too huge, we can make a big difference. Thanks, and we'll see you again.